Turning to farm news now this morning. Yesterday, 3 new presumptive positive bird flu cases were reported in Minnesota, one a turkey flock in Ottertail County. That brings to 70 the number of farms in Minnesota and just shy of 4 million birds that will have their entire poultry flock destroyed. In our area, it's 1 flock in Clay, Wadena, and Roseau County, and 3 flocks in Ottertail County. As the number of farms devastated by this epidemic grows, the leaders of the House and Senate Ag Committees are urging the White House to give Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack the go-ahead to release emergency funds to help poultry and egg producers. The lawmakers said that despite extreme precautions, the virus continues to spread and requires significant resources to curtail its effects. Wednesday, a Cooper's hawk from Yellow Medicine County tested positive for avian flu. This is the first wild bird in the state of Minnesota to be detected with the H5N2 virus. Yellow Medicine County does not have any infected poultry barns, but nearby Lyon County does. The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency says agricultural and urban runoff is responsible for the poor water quality in the state. The agency found water quality varies across Minnesota, but poor conditions are concentrated in southern Minnesota. The MPCA spent several years compiling this report and says they're about half done. Minnesota has 12,000 lakes and more than 69,000 miles of streams, many filled with high bacteria levels and mercury contamination. Officials say their plan to restore the state's water quality includes stream buffers, storm water controls, and lake treatments.
Start to make things better for our children or grandchildren, or are we going to allow things to continue to deteriorate, in which case they and our social fabric and our economic system, we're going to pay the price. So,
Minnesota Pollution Control Agency director says it's expected to take time to correct, possibly 20 or 30 years to correct the problem. Now, although some beneficial rain fell across the valley overnight, that's for the 3rd time in about a week, it's still very dry across the tri-states, and it's getting drier. According to the weekly drought monitor out of Lincoln, Nebraska, released yesterday morning, much of northwest and west central Minnesota now in severe drought mode. That's the darker brown area. The rest of the valley is in the light brown or moderate drought, and the yellow shaded area is abnormally dry. Now that's an increase in drought severity from last week. And speaking of water, or the lack thereof, the battle over the Obama administration's Environmental Protection Agency's attempt to redefine the jurisdiction of the Clean Water Act sharpened this week with a pair of veto threats from the White House. The House is debating a spending bill that includes a provision to block implementation of the proposed rule and could vote as soon as today on a separate bill that would simply kill the proposed waters of the U.S. rule. But according to a White House statement of administration policy issued Wednesday, that House bill would, quote, sow more confusion and invite more conflict at a time when our communities and businesses need clarity and certainty around clean water regulation. Now, because of the veto threat, congressional Republicans will be using the fiscal 2016 appropriation bill to stop implementation of the rule. If you want to get into farming these days, it's not easy. You have to have very deep pockets, a fabulous banker, or take over the family farm. Or just have a mere $150 and write a fantastic essay on why you want to take over someone's goat farm. We find out why an Alabama couple is giving it all away from Lauren Bale.
Paul and Leslie Spell are the proud owners of Humble Heart Farm in Elkmont.
This is a great place to live.
They have a house, 20 acres, 60 milk goats, and all the tools and equipment to be successful farmers and goat cheese makers. They're willing to sell all that for, wait for it, $150.
They'll get the watchdogs, they'll get all the equipment, we have a humble house up there.
The couple was inspired by a woman in Maine who did the same thing, giving her in a way to the person who sent in the best essay along with a small submission fee.
When we heard that, we thought, what an incredible way to be able to extend out what we've started, but really get the right people.
We're looking for enthusiasm. We're looking for people who want to do it.
Even once they find that person, the Spells say it won't be easy to say goodbye to everything they've created.
Our son is 14. We homeschool him here. He's part of everything. He helped build it. The people have treated me right here.
As their time here draws to a close, the Spells know they'll be leaving behind a place for a new family to learn and grow.
Their life will be enriched in ways that you don't even know it.
In the meantime, the Spells will be waiting for your letters.
If you're interested in submitting an essay, you can do so at goatfarmessay.com. 4:43, right after the break, we're taking a check of who got how much rain last night, and we'll check the forecast for farming for today. We'll be right back.